One. Hi guys, welcome to another video, and today I'm going to present an awesome web application which is totally based on Python, and it's called Anvil Works. And we're going to show you guys how you can easily transition from writing your own Python scripts, your Python applications, which is command line based, or any other code that you have, and how you can transition into becoming a web developer totally based on Python. And I have with me Shaun from Anvil Works. Hello, Shaun, and welcome to this episode. Hi. And Shaun is going to take us through the presentation of Anvil, this application called Anvil. And Shaun, why don't you present yourself and what Anvil is?
Hi. So let me basically talk through what Anvil is trying to do. So Anvil is trying to fix what we see as a problem with web development, which is that when you're a web developer, you have to work in this huge disjointed web stack where you have a database in the backend that you'll use SQL or something to make queries on. You'll have some server-side language like Python. You'll have JavaScript. You'll have HTML, to write the front end, CSS. You have to learn 5 different languages. You're working across 3 different interfaces, or 2 different interfaces at least. You're packaging up data. You're unpacking it on the other end. And all of this is what we call incidental complexity. There's the inherent complexity in the problem you're trying to solve, and then there's the incidental complexity where the technology is making it more complex than it needs to be. And you're sort of working around the technology a lot of the time. And this is why web developers take years to get to a professional level, because there's so much to learn that they needn't actually learn if you look at the problems they're trying to solve. Mm-hmm. If you're just trying to put data in a database and then display it in a list, that shouldn't require 5 years of experience. So we thought, why isn't there something like Visual Basic for the web? Visual Basic made building desktop applications really nice and easy, and children could do it. But then that got lost as applications moved onto the web. So Anvil is the attempt to create Visual Basic for the web, basically. And naturally, we chose Python because Python is amazing.
Exactly. And it's kind of also a visual builder type of, but there is this trend now these days that there's no code and low code and some code. But I believe that what you guys are trying to present with Anvil is that somewhere along the line you're going to have to work with code, and working with code, both for the beginner but also for the expert, is very, very convenient with Anvil, that you also will be showing. And the best part is that you don't have to think about JavaScript, right?
Yes. Exactly. Everything's in Python. That's the way it should be.
So primarily, what would you say, like, who is this solution or application for? Is it for who is the best suited to start using this application? Is it for like total newbies who don't know Python, or is it like you need like 5 years of experience or 10 years of experience before you start using this application?
I would encourage total newbies to have a go. I think it's probably a little bit more towards the somebody who knows a bit about Python, so that they don't have to learn the language and learn how to do things in Anvil at the same time. But you certainly don't have to be a web developer. We get a lot of data scientists using Anvil who built some model and they want to connect it to Anvil and put a user interface on it. Or we get people who are desktop app developers who are sick of doing things the hard way and having to deploy their new version of their app to all the different machines, and so they want to build a web app, and they want something that feels like, say, C#.net or something. So they use Anvil. If you know a bit of code already, then then you're probably good to go with Anvil.
Okay. How would you describe this app, like using this framework instead of going through the normal route, which is like Flask or Django, learning a web framework, which is Python based? What is the core difference here? I know you get the UI actually handed over to you, but what would be the main difference instead of going directly to Anvil instead of Django or Flask?
Well, Django and Flask, I would say, are on a lower abstraction level than Anvil. So you can think of it as being like the relationship between C and assembly language.
Yeah.
Anvil is Django and Flask are one part of the solution, and they still require quite a lot of jumping through hoops and writing lots and lots of code. Anvil has a higher level of abstraction and a higher level of concepts, so that you don't have to think so much, basically.
Yeah. So the building blocks are actually ready for you to just glue it together with code, right? Or...
Yeah, and so you only have to write your business logic, really.
Right.
I think maybe this might be clearer if I actually just start demoing it and
sure.
see how it works.
Yeah, sure.
So I'll share my screen.
Yeah. So would the screen recording, record your screen, hopefully?
Yep, it should be doing that now. Can you see my screen, Sukhvinder?
I can see your screen, yes.
Great. So this is what you see when you sign into Anvil.
Yeah.
And you can just create an app by clicking Create App. There are some themes, so you can style your app in a variety of kind of built-in ways, and also you can create your own themes.
Those are boilerplates, so you can start playing with, right?
Yeah. So you just jump in and start building. So this is our material design theme, which is based on Google's design language.
Ah, okay.
So this is a drag and drop designer. I have a toolbox here full of components, and I can just drop components in like so.
Yeah.
So I'm building the UI visually, which is a great way to do something visual. You could also do all this using Python code. All of the components I'm placing here are also Python objects, so you could just instantiate them if you wanted to.
So the beauty of this app is that everything happens in the web browser, right?
Yeah. So this is a web-based development environment. So you don't have to install anything. It's just there, and you never have to update it because it'll always be up to date.
Yep. That's really important for people who, especially those who want to don't want to maintain an application themselves, because you get everything out of the box here.
Yes, exactly. Hope I'm spelling your name right, Sukhvinder.
No, not a problem.
Is there a H?
There's an H after the K.
There we go.
We need to be precise with the details,
Right, so I've just built a UI. I can run my app. So this is now running in sort of debug mode. And this would have taken me, half an hour in HTML and CSS, but I've just done that while I've been talking to you.
Right. So everything is done from the backend.
Yeah, the UI is completely constructed. So now I need to make it actually do something. So I have a button here, and I can configure a click handler for that button. So I just click here in the IDE. Now I'm taken to the code view. So this is Python code that represents the form that I've just built. And this is Python code that runs in the browser. So this is actually compiled. Sorry.
This is for the button, right?
Yeah. So this is the click handler. This runs when the button gets clicked.
Wow. Nice.
So everything I've just dropped in there is a Python object. So I have label2.text. And I can set it to the constants of textbox1.text.
Text of the text box.
And now when I run it again, hello, Sukhvinder.
Wow.
Hello, Shaun. So I just built a web app entirely in the front end. So the other main ingredient of a web app is stuff running in the back end. So we have this hosted server environment,
Mm-hmm.
Switch it to Python 3. There we go. So I can run anything I can do in Python, I can do here, including importing third-party libraries. I'm just going to do something very simple as an example. I'm just putting hello from the server when I run this function, and I'm just going to return a list, maybe. So normally you would need to, package up your data and deserialize it on the other end and turn it from the way you represented it in Python to the way you represented it in JavaScript.
Mm-hmm.
With Anvil, you can just decorate your function as callable,
mm-hmm.
and then you can call it from your front-end code. So here in the client-side code, I can do anvil.server.call, say hello, and the autocompleter knows what I want to do. And I can pass in the text object. So that's a Python string that's a Python object which is being sent over the network. So now when I enter your name, I get hello from the server Sukhinder. And I'm also returning the return value, so I put that on the client side. I get the return value printed, and it's printed in white, so the yellow stuff is printed on the server, and the white stuff is printed on the client. So this is where everyone asks, how do I store data? Because that's the next thing you want to do with a web app. Because this is a full Python environment, you could say import PyMySQL and connect to your own MySQL database or whatever database you're using. But there's also a built-in database called data tables.
And this built-in database is which type of database is it? Postgres SQL?
Yeah,
or yeah,
it's Postgres. So we've kind of just put a nice front end and some Python bindings into Postgres.
Okay.
So I'll create a table to store the people that have entered their names, and you can store date times and JSON and media objects, which are our representation of files. You can store quite a lot of things in the table, and you can link them together as well. So I'll store a date time that's when the user has entered their name. Now in my function, I'll do apptables.visitors.addRow. So I'm doing things entirely in Python here, and enter datetime.now for the time.
So this is typical when you have a web application and you want to have a logging of when somebody signed up or logged in, for example.
Actually, we capture all the standard out, and we capture all the logins from what we call the user service.
Okay.
So the logging, we've got a separate thing for that. Although you could create, a bit more logging with this if you want to. But it's more for like storing the data that your app actually uses. So if you had a CRM, you'd have your customers and what sales you made to them and all of that in this table.
Right.
Or if you were doing bioinformatics, you'd have your your protein information. I don't know anything about bioinformatics. So there we go. I've entered our names, and our names are now on the table, and we've also got when I entered them. So it took me 20 seconds to write my own name. We've
right. Yeah.
So I've just built a full stack web app. While I've been talking to you in about 10 minutes.
Right. So it's like on steroids.
Yeah, exactly.
Building web apps on steroids.
It makes you way more efficient. We had someone post in the forum recently that he got a job. He's kind of an inexperienced but relatively smart guy, and he got a job based on saying that he would be 3 developers if it was him plus Anvil.
Wow.
He would be as effective as 3 experienced developers, and they they were happy to then hire him, and he's now an Anvil developer as a job.
Guys, this is very important. I know a lot of you guys ask me like what kind of career, what kind of technology you want to learn. I think if you just focus on Anvil, you'll get hired.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And whatever you want to do, you can connect it up to Anvil. So, um, Anvil can be your way of presenting what you're trying to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not sort of trapped within Anvil and can only do what Anvil can do. So this, I'll show you a feature that I really love. It's my favorite feature,
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of is we have this idea of escape hatches. So if there's something you can't do with Anvil, we try and give you a way that you can sort of break out of Anvil, do something, and come back in.
Uh-huh.
So the sort of ultimate escape hatch is this thing called the uplink.
Mm-hmm.
So this allows you to connect to Python code running anywhere,
Mm-hmm.
and it acts like that yellow code that I showed you earlier.
Uh-huh.
So you can
Okay.
just call functions on your own machine from Anvil. So you get a randomized key for your app,
Mm-hmm.
and you install a Python library, and then you can connect from your own machine.
Mm-hmm.
So here's hopefully you can see this in the screen share. This is a terminal running on my machine,
Mm-hmm.
and if I first I pip install Anvil Uplink, that's already installed, and now I can write Python script that I can connect to my app.
Mm-hmm.
This is just a normal Python script. So I import anvil.server and I run anvil.server.connect with my key, and I can define a function, say hi from Mac, because I'm running a Mac.
Mm-hmm.
And I can decorate that as anvil.server.callable. And then I can run anvil.server.waitForever, which is just a convenience function to run a loop so that it stays connected.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's now connected to my app.
Mm-hmm.
So
So the app that you created, right? Because the link is automatically given from when you're working on this.
yeah,
Yeah.
because I have this key. So Anvil has that stored somewhere, and it knows that this process wants to connect to this app, and it makes the connection for you.
Right.
Then let's drop a plot in here. So I've just dropped a plot into my app. Y equals so I can call say hi from Mac from the app. So let's run this and see whether I've made any mistakes or whether it actually works. There we go. So that's the data that was generated on my Mac and has been returned to my app and is now being displayed on the web.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what you did, you created this uplink in the web browser, and you created a function or a Python script on your Mac. So now it's actually talking to your Mac, right?
Yep, it's actually talking to my Mac, and I've sent some data to my Mac, which is now printed,
Uh-huh.
and I've
So
sent some data back to my app, which I've now plotted.
okay.
So
So this uplink could connect to like a server on DigitalOcean or Amazon or Azure for that matter, right?
yep,
With this
yep,
uplink, so you can
yeah,
host that code. Okay.
yeah. And if you've got some existing backend, and it already creates some nice data that you want to plot or something like that, then you can easily just create an Anvil UI. You don't have to sort of copy all that code into Anvil. You can just have a function to connect and get the data and send it back.
Cool. That's awesome.
Yeah. One more thing. So this is already online. So if I click here, it says publish this app. So it's already online at this randomized URL.
So there is no deployment and everything. It's like just push it for you, yeah, right?
Exactly. It's kind of deployless. And I can give it a sensible name. So I can call it hello Binder.anvil.app. And that is now available. You could go to this on your machine right now and you'd have this app.
I'm gonna test it. I'm gonna test if you're.
If I'm a liar, or.
Let me just check on my computer just to. As dash Anvil.app. Oh yes, it's working. Perfect.
Cool, good to hear it.
Cool. So, but for those wondering, like if like I say, I have an awesome idea for a web application that I want to create. Do I always have to use the URL that is generated by Anvil, or can I have a custom domain connected to it?
Yeah, so you can have custom domains. So if I click here, I get add custom domain. I could enter, app.example.com. And then you have to, obviously, because you're in control of your DNS, so you have to set an A record pointing to our IP address. And then you're good to go.
Okay.
You can also embed Anvil apps in web pages. So you can just stick your app in an iframe. And if you've got a pre-existing page, you can have a little widget that you've made in Anvil.
So if I had a WordPress site, I could use the script to embed it there?
Yep. Oh. So if you wanted a little calendar or something that you built in Anvil, then you can just put that in your website.
Awesome. That is so cool. I mean, you guys have with this application, you have already done a lot of work for people to actually just be productive and to create something. And the app, the architecture, everything is taken care of. The back end.
Yeah, it's lovely to see how creative people can be. So we had a new employee join us recently who had been a web developer doing a freelance project. And she built a CRM using the standard web stack in about 6 months. And the first thing she did when she came to Anvil was to learn Anvil. She reproduced her CRM. And it took her 4 days. Wow. And the whole time she was sitting there going, "Oh my god! I can't believe this works this way. This is amazing." It was really nice to hear.
Right. I totally believe it because it's blazing fast, and I mean, the test cycle is so short because you get the instant result. You can see it right away instead of having a debug system with Django or Flask. It sometimes takes a little bit of time, but here you have everything and updates are done automatically, like you said. So, for instance, if users want to propose some new functionality, how do you guys take that feedback and implement it, or do you guys have your own plans for this application?
Yeah, so we have a user forum where people can submit feature requests, and that's also a great way to get support. So the community is very kind of active and very friendly, and they're always helping each other. And it actually, it's interesting to see what they're building and their solutions for things. And I learn from them sometimes. Right. but I'm also on there, and some of my colleagues are. So we kind of anything that doesn't get answered pretty quickly, we catch it and answer it as well.
Cool.
So yeah, it's a great way to get support. And yeah, about features, we're entirely funded by our customers. We don't have like, VC backers who are like breathing down our necks and trying to tell us how they want the product to be. So it's all based on what our customers want.
So this solution and application, is it free to use, or do you have like do you have to pay to be for creating something, or is it totally free?
So it's free. It's kind of like a freemium model. So it's a commercial product. It's not open source. The Uplink library is open source, but the editor is not. And you can do so everything I've just done. You can do on the free plan, and you can do most things on the free plan. There are two major drawbacks of the free plan. The first is you get a banner saying "Made with Anvil" at the top of your app. Which obviously, it's fine if it's your hobby project, and if you're starting to get money from it, then you probably want to remove it. So that stop paying us. And the other thing is, so these server modules, you have to use a more restricted backend. The reason for that is the full CPython environment costs us, a certain amount to run, because we have to kind of isolate users from each other. So we have to kind of put it in a Docker container and put big locks on it and make sure it's totally protected from the other users. Whereas the free plan backend is a PyPy sandbox. So it's like the PyPy dialect of Python, which is Python 2 basically, and it doesn't have the full Python ecosystem available. But there's a way around that, because you can just use the uplink and manage your own backend, and then you can have whatever you like. You can have all the Python. And all the languages that you can call from Python as well. You can run Bash.
Cool. Right.
So you can do all that on the free plan. So still very powerful.
But what kind of price plan do you have for the different subscriptions, or is it monthly, or is it yearly base, or?
I'll show you our pricing page since I'm showing my screen. So as I said, there's the free plan. You can do pretty much everything. Then the individual plan is $49 a month. You can pay annually or monthly, and it's a bit cheaper to pay annually.
Yeah, that's reasonably.
And then as you add more developers and you get more traffic, you pay more, and you can add an arbitrary number of developers and compute. And then you can get like a dedicated server, and you can have your own database that you can run SQL against if you want to, and add indices and stuff. And on the business plan, we'll build a theme for you as well, so you can have like your company's style from your app with no effort from you.
Okay.
And then this is important to mention. We do like on-site installations as well. So for enterprise customers who like
on-premise
in their network. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So if they don't want to have it on the internet, like through the browser, it's like on premises.
Yep.
But within the isolated environment. Okay, I understand.
Yeah. So since I mentioned themes, let me show you another of our escape hatches. So everything's in Python here. Everything's drag and drop. It's really nice, and you can sort of change the look and feel of things. And so let's say I want to make this blue, I could just go down here and say it's roll to primary color, it's blue. But if you want to like have all the power to control everything, then you can edit the HTML of the theme.
Okay.
So you can just create your entirely new theme.
So you just right from the browser you can do the HTML. Can you also do something with the CSS?
Yep. So all of the CSS of this theme is here, and you can just dive in and modify stuff. If you don't want to go quite that far, you can just play around with the color scheme. Now I've got a purple app. And you can also call JavaScript. So if there's a JavaScript library that does something really pretty, for example, D3, then you can just import D3 There you go, there's D3 and Anvil. So here I'm just importing D3.
Okay.
And then I've just grabbed this D3 example from the internet, which I don't understand, but I've just copy pasted it in.
Okay.
And so I get my cogs. And you can also you can create forms. So I've only shown you an app with one form so far, but you can create forms that actually have a bit of JavaScript code in them. So you can kind of wrap your favorite JavaScript library and call it in Python. So I've added a new form to this particular app. It's a custom HTML form, which means I can let me just show you. So let's say I write some HTML. Then I can go on users component and I check this box, and I now have a component in my toolbox called leaflet map. So then I can just drop these leaflet map components into my form.
Just drag and drop.
Just drag and drop those new components that I've created.
Okay. Wow. I'm not very familiar with the different JavaScript libraries, but this seems to be very handy for those who know what kind of libraries and tools they want to use with this application. Yeah,
and if you're not that handy, you can just look in the quick start docs for that particular library, and I mean that's what I did for this. This is so we have a built-in map component, a Google Map component, but somebody I was helping wanted to use these leaflet maps, so I just looked at the quick start and copy pasted this example that initializes the map. I modified a few parameters so that it centers on Cambridge, of course, because we're based in Cambridge.
Yeah.
And so I created this in its leaflet function that initializes it. And then in the Python, when the form is shown on the page, I'm running self.call.js in it leaflet, and that calls that JavaScript function from Python.
Okay, right.
So there we go.
So you have, okay. That's so cool.
So it's something that, Anvil doesn't support out of the box, but it's really easy to sort of plug it in, extend Anvil.
So if you want to have some analytics stuff and plot it on the map, it's like plug and play.
Exactly, yeah.
Awesome. So, like you said, this is a free to use, but where can people sign up for this awesome app?
So our URL is anvil.works. And just go up here and click sign up. And there you go.
So it's like just I know that when I signed up for this app, you have a awesome tutorial for you guys to just jump in, and it's like pointer stuff that click here, click here, click here, to just get you into this so you can start to build it quickly. I mean, I'm definitely going to do more tutorials on this myself. I'm going to learn more about this app as well, because this is so awesome. I have some ideas myself that I want to realize, and maybe I'll create some tutorials based on that as well. So I'm looking forward to building it myself. What more do you have, Shaun?
Well, I don't know. There's quite a lot more, but I feel like we've maybe got enough. It's
for introduction.
Yeah. I think I've shown you the main things. Maybe I'll show you one more thing, which is how easy it is to add user authentication. So there's a bunch of kind of out of the box things you can do. This is the user service. So I've just enabled that in my app, and I can run anvil.users.login with form, and that now has added a login form to my app. So now I have to log into my app to make it work, although I'm not signed up. So now I'm signed up and I have a confirmation email. But because I'm the admin of this app, I can just go straight into the users table. So you can see I'm stored in the data tables as a user. My password has been hashed, and I've signed up and all that. I can just click confirmed email. Now I've pretended I confirmed. Now I can log in. So there you go, I'm logged in. And if I want to do like authorization, so let's say somebody modifies the code in their web browser because they've got access to all the code that's running in their web browser. So users can, for any app, users can sort of get around different bits of your app. So let's say they manage to comment out of the login with form line. I can check who's logged in by doing if anvil.users.getUser. And now this code won't run if nobody's logged in. And I can also print this user is logged in. And I can do anvil.users. And anvil.users.getUser, that's just a row from the database. And rows from the database they behave like dictionaries. So I can get the email column from that database row.
Okay.
Just as if it was a dictionary. So now I've because I commented out the login form, I should get nothing when I try and run the server side.
Okay.
So all that output that was there before now isn't showing. And if I put the login form back in, so now the backend code is running.
Yeah. So.
So you can add a login form with a single line of code, and you can add security by just checking if somebody's logged in, basically.
That's quick, actually, to just set up authenticated users or logged in users. I mean, logged in users. Right. Awesome. I'm really happy that you guys made this application, because it's really important for people to get up to speed, especially working with web applications these days, because there's so much data science and people working with data, but they don't know how to utilize the data and share the data through an application, for example. As long as they have the data, I mean, if they just put some effort into Anvil, a day's effort, I think you'll be able to learn web application really quickly.
Yeah. I think I've seen people get up to speed with Anvil in a few hours.
Exactly.
And they're already building UIs for their data models, or building workflow apps, or whatever they want to do. They're already productive within a few hours.
Yeah. Wow. It's been a really great to know this application. And I think for the first introduction, this should be enough.
Cool.
Yeah. And guys, definitely check this application out. I'll put the link in the video description, and head over to Anvil Works and test this out and give some feedback in the comments below, or send comments to Shaun or Anvil, guys at
Yep.
Anvil.
Head to the
And
forum. Tell me
head
you
to the
came from
forum. Yeah.
Sukhvinder, and I'll be even nicer to you than I normally would.
It's been a pleasure having you, Shaun, and thank you for taking your time and coming on to my channel and having this conversation with me and my audience. So I hope to see you again soon. I'll try to make some tutorials myself and share with my viewers, and hopefully we'll be back with a new video very shortly.
Great. Thank you very
Thanks.
much. It's been a real pleasure.
Thank you, Shaun, and hope to see you. Have a nice day. Okay, bye, guys. Bye
Thanks.
bye.